Los Angeles, bringing you LA Kings Live right here on Valley Sports as the LA Kings return to Crypto.com Arena to take on the very dangerous and frightening Florida Panthers. This team can absolutely light it up. But we also honor a legend, number 32, Jonathan Quick, in game number 700 of his NHL career. You see all the guys hit the ice wearing those 700 hats. We just saw Drew Doughty with the 1,000 hats. And they're like, you know what? That looks so good. Let's get some 700 hats.
I'd love a couple of those, Lids.
I'm still waiting for my 1,000th Drew Doughty hat. Now I need to get a 700 Jonathan Quick hat. I know the guy to ask.
I'll work on it.
Jared
Christmas
Stoll,
is over, though, bud.
Patrick O'Neill. Okay, I'll take that. Anything. We'll get to Quickie in a minute. It's a great accomplishment for a player that has meant so much to this city. But the injuries, and we hit it last night, when the Kings were on the road and lost 5-0 to San Jose. Dustin Brown is now going to be out with an extended period of time. Matt Roy, also not available tonight. Drew Doughty is not going to play. And there's a lot of young players that are getting called up. And I just wonder, how if you were a player in the room, what would you make of the situation right now, or even where you sit here?
Yeah, it's the year of the opportunities for sure. Between COVID and now injury, the injury bug, it does hit every team. Some teams worse than others. It seems like right now the Kings are just getting it all at once. So yeah, it's one of those things where guys got to step up. Either you come up, you either sink or you swim. And the good thing about having the minor league system right here in Los Angeles is they can do that. They can do that on short notice, and they have been in the last couple of weeks. They've had to. So you're playing good hockey teams. It's the NHL. Any team can beat any team. We said it last night. God, it seems like we were just in studio like 5 hours ago, but no,
we lost an hour too.
That's true. But no, it's a big time challenge tonight against the Florida Panthers. A very good team, but hey, you never know. Maybe they're just don't even think about it. Maybe they're just too naive to think about it. All these young guns getting in the lineup and just play well. They're fresh. They want to impress. They want to stay here. So it's just a matter of playing well.
Well, it was a Saturday night in downtown Los Angeles for the Panthers. Although we just walked by them warming up, they look ready. They're well rested. This is going to be a tough challenge. Dustin Brown, your former teammate, of course, he was the captain of the 2 Stanley Cup championship winning teams. The guy is an absolute warrior, but sometimes there's nothing you can do. Jordan Spence, slap shot, catches him right in the mitt, and he's going to be out for a bit.
Yeah, you can tell right away, too. Something is wrong right there. Brownie knows it. He goes right to the bench, and, it's what he does. He goes to the net. He goes to those hard areas to score goals and contribute and produce, and, you can just tell right away. And then he goes off with the trainer, Chris Kingsley, and holding the hand. You couldn't tell if it was a knuckle, if it was a hand, if it was a thumb, whatever it was. But yeah, he's going to be out at least a couple weeks.
Yeah, and the injury update, is not great at all. It's shocking, but this is what it is. Lemieux week to week, Arvidsson week to week, Anderson week to week. Doughty is day to day. So that's the best news of all. He could be eligible to come off and play in the game Tuesday night. Athanasiou week to week. Same with Brownie. And Matt Roy's not going to play. He's listed day.
Yeah, the crazy thing is all these guys here, except for Mikey Anderson, it's his second year. He plays like a veteran, but all these guys here are veteran NHL players, right? And, big contributors to the team, especially this year. Everybody from, even Brendan Lemieux. But here, Gabe Vilardi just coming up. Played last night in San Diego for the Ontario Reign, and tonight he's warming up getting the edges going there.
Skate around
what's going on there? That is something new. I don't know. I got to ask Gabe about that. Man, I know it's a different different ice surface, but my God. That's exactly what Gabe is very good at. Protecting the puck down low. Kupari, his speed, his skill level. He hasn't been up here for about a couple months. So there you see it right there. He's got 15 games with the Ontario Reign, 37 with the Kings. So he's a guy that he's got to produce as well. He's a skilled player. He's a first-round pick. So the Kings need these guys. They need the big guns to step up and start scoring some goals as well, the first line. But, throughout your lineup, you need guys to step up now with the injury bug that's hit. And Quentin Byfield's another guy, 2 goals, 1 assist. So you'd like to see him find the back of the net a little bit more often. He had that great scoring chance last night in San Jose on the back door. He just couldn't elevate the puck and put it in. But, a lot of these young players, you're getting thrown into the deep end right now. And especially against the Florida Panthers here tonight, nonetheless. So it's a matter of them stepping up, and showing that they can play at this level.
There's a chance that we'll see that line together on the ice. We had a chance to speak with Todd McClellan before the game. They're going to take rushes. We'll maybe be able to update that a little bit later on in the show. But Byfield, Velarde, Kupari, something you could look to tonight. But let's take a moment and just relish what 700 games played for a goalie in the NHL means. There's only 30, and Jonathan Quick will be the 30th NHL goaltender in history. And I put a poll on Twitter, what's tougher, 1,000 games for a skater, like a forward defenseman, or 700 for a goalie? It was overwhelming. It's like 82% were voting for the goalie to reach 700.
Is that what it was? I agree. Yeah, I'd vote that as well. It's for a goaltender, the preparation you have to have and the physical ability, and we all know what kind of goaltender Jonathan Quick is, and the body and how flexible he is, but it's a lot of pressure on you too. You're a goaltender, you're the last line of defense. If you have a bad period, a bad couple goals, your team could lose the game right there. And think about the Stanley Cup wins that we had in game 1 or game 6 of a Stanley Cup final. He has a bad period, we could lose that game. And that's just the pressure that goes on with it. But for Quickie, I just remember memories of, they all flow back to those playoff runs, but the San Jose comeback that we had, how well he played in 2012. His numbers in 2012, of course he won the Conn Smythe, but his numbers were ridiculous. And the type of saves that he made, I remember in St. Louis, they had game 1 and 2 were in St. Louis, and we got absolutely outplayed those first 10 minutes of that game 1. We should have been down 3 or 4-0, and he stood on his head. We needed him to stand on his head there, and then for us to get our legs and get our game going, and then we end up winning the series. So, games 3 and 4 in New York in 2014 against the Rangers, he was unbelievable. Stole game 3 and got us up 3-0 in the series, and then we know what happened. But I just remember so many games of him battling, the leadership he provided. And usually goaltenders they're not looked upon as leaders, but Jonathan Quick is definitely a leader of this team and this franchise.
Amazing that the majority of those on-ice memories are all from the playoffs. Makes perfect sense. I know he's one of your best friends as well, with wife Jackie and those kids. And I will say this, I think, when all is said and done, that Jonathan Quick deserves a statue in front of Crypto, because I'm talking one of the most clutch athletes in SoCal sports history. Two Stanley Cup championships, and so congratulations. And I know he's not done, but I think it's just pretty awesome. Jim Fox. Jim Fox is standing by. I was going so.
You said Jim.
I don't know what I said. Jim Quick. It's Sly. Foxy, I know you want to kind of add on to the conversation here about memories regarding Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, with Jonathan, the first thing that stands out, guys, is his athleticism, right? Because he's so explosive, and at the same time, he is so flexible. And because of that, all the numbers we can throw out there, the one thing that stands out is he's one of the most exciting goaltenders to ever play the game because of the style he played. The other thing that stands out for me, and I think Stoley was touching on it, was his personality. Just take a look at this board right here. I mean, those numbers jump out at you, right? His personality was this. It doesn't matter how, just get the win. And then if things did not go well, he never, ever, I can't remember one time where he made a statement, his body language, nothing, where he would point the finger at his teammates. It was all about him taking responsibility. So you combine that athleticism with that attitude. I remember in 2014, he was pulled early in the series against San Jose. I think the Kings allowed 7 goals. And, before going to his spot in San Jose, which is not on the bench, he skated back and forth in front of the bench, and he wasn't complaining. He was just saying, guys, we're going to come back and win this series. We're going to come back and win this series. Well, they went down 0-3, and they came back. Stola, you were there to win that series. So that stands out to me with Jonathan Quick. Just so fortunate to be able to watch him through the years. And you know what, Patrick? If there's not a statue, there's a spot up here in the rafters right behind me. There's going to be a 32 up there.
You better believe it, yeah.
Yeah, he always took responsibility. It doesn't matter if he played great or he let in a couple soft goals. He took that on himself. I just remember during those playoff runs in the finals and just looking across where I sat in the locker room, I could see right across to Quickie, and I just knew we were fine. He had it. He was competing as hard as anybody. He was going to make those big saves when we needed him to. Like I talked about the St. Louis series, just if we were struggling at a point in the game, he had us and he had our back. And it's very, very fortunate and lucky to say that about a goaltender, and we've had him for so long.
If I can, guys, just jump in with more stats, and I rarely do stats. Nick Nixon put this together a while ago. 2012 Stoley, regular season, 10 times Jonathan Quick allowed 1 goal or less in a game, and the Kings didn't get 2 points in that game.
Incredible.
That's how good he was. Man.
That's how bad we were scoring goals.
Hey, Foxy, before I let you go, let me just ask you about tonight's game. And we showed you, of course, all the injuries. I know you and Alex will talk about it throughout the night. How does this team that will be playing here tonight develop chemistry, in your opinion?
You know what? I don't think there's enough time for chemistry right now. Chemistry was so important to this group. That's the reason they came together and built that identity, because remember, guys, at the beginning of the year, they really didn't have an identity. We asked Todd McClellan, what's the identity? Well, it's going to happen. It's going to take place. And that's what happened. It just kind of evolved. So I don't know if there's time to evolve chemistry right now. So I think the one thing you have to look to, the personnel has changed, the chemistry has changed, the structure. That's the number one thing that can unify things. That structure, the system, positioning, understanding where you're on the ice, those types of things, very important for the Kings right now.
And considering that's how the rain play, hopefully that will...
I'm working on my edges here, guys.
You're just skating around like Velarde?
Edges, yeah.
Just
edges,
working it?
Edges.
Swirling around. Good work, Jim.
Don't get hurt up there, bud.
Yeah, exactly.
Need ya.
Thank you to Jim Fox. He'll have the call coming up with Alex Fowler. So we got a lot more to talk about, Jarrett, but we have to take a break. Before we do, I just want to send my condolences to the families. We lost two very important people in our sports family today. Alan Massengale, tremendous broadcaster. Many will remember him, the old prime ticket days. And also Jack Simmons, who was a fantastic executive in sports television. Both were friends of mine, friends to many, and we send our prayers to their families. We'll be back with more after this.